Games, and welcome to this evening's stream where I'm going to be painting some Space Marines in space. The audacity, indeed the audacity.
And tell everybody watching what you're reading, making you chuckle.
Yeah. So Sparky has said the audacity to lock away the great Wizardo so that you can paint shiny knights who go pew pew. That's right. Hello everybody.
Hi Sparky, hi Tony, hi Wicked D, hi Sharon, hi. I'm sure that I saw somebody else. Ah, there you go, Chronoco, I knew I'd see you.
Yeah, hi everybody.
Your writing on my screen is Chronoco is the same colour as Sparky, and it confused us.
Like banging noise going from over there. Is that the fire?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry everybody. There's like a kind of wind buffeting kind of loud noise coming from somewhere in the house.
The fire?
Is that what it is?
The fire's roaring, if that's,
that could be it, but I can't see it.
It's because we've just lit it. Anyway.
Sorry everybody.
It was very strange.
Well, I meant to ask you before we went live, and then we went live because we got a bit distracted, haven't we?
We got distracted talking to Tony about the Witchfinder, which has got Daisy May Cooper in it. And Tony has just started watching it, and I said that I'd seen like a little thumbnail advertising, and I thought to myself, oh, Daisy May Cooper, and I hadn't got any further.
She's in something that's not just a panel show.
Yeah, so Tony says the first one's a little bit slow, but the second one seems to have picked up. Like that tends to be the way, though, doesn't it? They've got to set a scene. So I said that we'll have to try and give it a go. Sparky says, "What's a Daisy May Cooper?" She's a person, Sparky. She's a comedian and actress, not in the league of the Great Wizardo, of course, but yeah, she's a person. And this TV programme, was it on Sky? It must have been on Sky if I've seen a thumbnail-y thing. The Witchfinder. The thumbnail image that I saw had her and somebody else.
That I recognise.
Well, we were flicking, trying to convince little miss that it was bedtime. And so I didn't really have a proper look. I just saw Daisy. Are you calling the Great Wizardo an actor? I wouldn't dare. Not that he came from the theatre or show background or anything like that. He's absolutely wonderful.
So.
Sorry.
That's alright.
What are you painting?
So
what are you doing?
So this evening I'm going to be painting some Alpha Legion, Horus Heresy, 30k, whatever you want to call it, Space Marines, and these are headhunters. These are an elite squad of the Alpha Legion. These guys are trained to take down specific targets and stuff and disrupt the enemy, as is the Alpha Legion's talent, shall we say? Misinformation and misdirection and precision strikes to disrupt the enemy army. So these guys are an elite unit. So they come in fives, which is why I'm going to be painting 5 of them. The picture was 4 because one of them didn't have any arms at the time, but I fixed him now. He's this guy over here. So headhunters, send them to the Grinning Goblin. So Sparky. Anyone would think that they were missing.
Yeah, it's not like they were missing playing D&D at all, is it? Yeah. Hey Pete! Pete says, hydrate! At least we haven't got 13 hydrates, Pete.
No, yeah, I saw that earlier on.
We don't keep a bottle of water down the side of us.
Poor Hamish.
He loves it, doesn't he, Pete? He loves it, really. We are very glad, one, that you're all here, and two, that you all did enjoy the D&D sessions, the live D&D sessions that we ran on Wednesday slots for the past 3 weeks, which you can find on video on demand on Twitch and also on YouTube. I'm not quite sure whether the YouTube videos are the same quality, because whenever I watch some of our YouTube videos back, they always seem to be lower quality than the recordings themselves, and also the video on demand. But I don't know if that's just my settings for playback or if that is genuinely they're a bit rubbish. I'm not very techie, so I don't know. They tend to not be due to Twitch's download. Alright, so they are a bit more poopy doopy, are they?
That's the technical term.
Poopy doopy, yeah, well, yeah, it's family friendly and stuff, isn't it? Poopy doopy, that's what happened. Everybody knew what I meant.
Yeah.
It's exactly spaghetti poopy doopy.
Yeah.
I'll have to try and get it in the dictionary.
I'll have to use it a lot.
Use it. How many millions times, Joe? I've said it about 600 times so far, just on this one stream. But yeah. So anyway, that's where you can find the adventures, our D&D adventure, the Grinning Goblin, and see what happened there, and how wonderfully brave Sir Bob was, and how absolutely awesome Wizardo was with his lock-picking skills, renowned throughout the land.
And let's not forget Dante.
Dante's falling down hole skills.
Yeah, and Aurelio
Yeah, well, the only reason that we're still alive.
Healing the party.
Yeah, that's the only reason that we got further than session 1. Was because Aurelio was just like, yeah, I'll got you guys. I'll look after you. Don't you worry about it. Otherwise, yeah, I don't think we'd have made it very far at all, would we? Working together as a team, that's what it was.
That's it. That's it. It's D&D is a collaborative game. I can never understand people who think that they are going to win themselves. Like everybody's character, if you're playing a long campaign, everybody's characters can develop differently and what have you. But yeah, it should be a team effort.
Have you had your 2 hydrates from me?
I've had one. Let's have another one.
Sparky says, just take a beating for 12 rounds, then falls down.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah, no watching while driving, Pete.
You did do remarkably well.
Because we are wonderful. And that's because Dante burnt all the enemies. But anyway, like if you want to know what happened, go watch the video on demand or the YouTube channel and find out what happened in our live D&D sessions. Hey Beeman!
Good evening.
So live D&D sessions. Find out what happened and what happened in the last one. Did we all survive? Did the great Wizardo manage to flap his cape about a bit more? Did Dante manage to fall down some more traps? And did Bob get killed?
Almost. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is painting some Space Marines. Now, my goal is, I did a test model. I don't know if I showed it off, I can't remember if I showed it off in a previous stream, but I did a test model where I undercoated these guys, or one of these guys, in a very bright silver. I used the Vallejo Model Air Steel, because I really like it. And undercoated him in that, and then I used contrast Leviathan, no, not Leviathan green, Achillean green, as I've seen people recommend for Alpha Legion colouring, and I didn't like it. It was too bright metallic turquoise, and I always struggle to highlight metallics particularly well. So what I've decided is that I'm going to paint them in a non-metallic scheme of turquoise, and then do the metallics on the edges of the armour and all the rest of it. I'm afraid, Vimanakwa, we don't need a name for this guy, because the Alpha Legion are renowned for not having individual names for their troopers, because they all say that they are called Alfarius, because that's part of the mystique of the faction.
So, Veeman has redeemed Ask a Question and says, what's this guy's backstory? So why don't you tell us a little bit of the lore about these guys and what the difference is between Warhammer 40k and Warhammer 30k, of which you're painting for? Just a little bit.
Okay.
No pressure.
So the Alpha Legion, if you are familiar with... Tony says that he's got some Space Marines, some Mark III Space Marines. They're still Space Marines though, so can remain unpainted. So, the Alpha Legion, if you're familiar with 40k, then you may know, but if you're not, then you probably won't know that there are 20 original legions that Games Workshop created in the Warhammer universe, 40k universe. And the reason they call 30k is because it is set at the time of the Horus Heresy, 30,000 years into the future, as opposed to the normal 40,000 for Warhammer 40,000. So the Horus Heresy was when the original Space Marine legions, led by the Warmaster Horus, decided, for whatever reason, that they were going to turn to chaos. And so 9 of the legions turned to chaos, and 9 of the legions stayed loyal to the Emperor of Mankind. And the other 2, Games Workshop have kind of written out so people can make up their own backgrounds and stories and stuff, because there's 20 in total, but they've only made kind of background and story and history and what have you for 18 of them. So yeah, people have got freedom to do what they want with the other 2. Now, the Alpha Legion are the 20th Legion, and they were the last to be rediscovered. So the story goes that the Primarchs, the leaders of the legions, were genetically created by the Emperor, who is a absolute wizard, a god, if you like, in human form. So he genetically created the Primarchs, which are superhuman demigods, basically, really powerful guys. And what happened was the Primarchs, while they were in their infant stages of creation, were scattered throughout the universe by some kind of magical or extra-dimensional means, and they all ended up on various worlds that were inhabited by men, for the most part, I believe. And then the Emperor had to go out, and using the Space Marines that he had also created, he had to re-find his sons, and then he reunited each one of them with their kind of genetic offspring, the Space Marines, and each of the Primarchs led a legion. So the Alpha Legion were the last to be rediscovered. And when they found them, what actually happened with the Alpha Legion is they have 2 Primarchs. So they have who are twins. They have Alfarius and Omegon, and they have they're very deceitful, the Alpha Legion, and they specialise in kind of stealth and subterfuge. They use a lot of human agents and what have you to get their things done. They're very good at toppling regimes without having to come to conflict, because they're very good at sedition and all that kind of stuff. And they use a lot of specialist assassins and things. Now, so yeah, that's kind of a bit about them, without me going like completely off the deep end about it. And the difference between 40k and 30k. So the time of the Horus Heresy was set 30,000 years in the future, and there was a galactic civil war between the traitor legions and the loyalist legions, which culminated with the Siege of Terra, which is in sometime around the 30th millennium, or 31st millennium, something like that. And then after Horus was defeated and his forces were defeated, they were sent off packing into the Eye of Terror. So they went off into the kind of chaos realm, if you like, with their tails between their legs. And Imperium of Man carried on for another like 10,000 years, and then we're in the kind of current age, Warhammer 40,000, and the traitor legions are now corrupted by chaos for the most part, and mount attacks into the Imperium of Man, and generally make life hard for the normal law-abiding people of the Imperium, the interstellar empire of humanity.
Sharon's got a question.
Yep.
She says, "What are Space Marines? Human? Like, what's under the helmet? What are they?"
Yeah. So Space Marines, I haven't got one that's not got his helmet on my desk. So Space Marines are post-humans. They're taken as teenagers or adolescents and put through a genetic modification to enhance them in many ways. They're given additional organs and upgrades to their skeletons and what have you, and they're generally they grow in height. So the average Space Marine is about 8 feet tall, apparently. But yeah, they're human, and they're all men. So Space Marines are all men. Lots of people have fan-fictioned female Space Marines, but the way that they've written the background for everything, all Space Marines are men. And then we have Sisters of Battle, which are ladies, all ladies in space nuns, basically, because it's a fantasy setting, and that's just what it is. But yeah, so they're blokes. Genetically modified blokes.
So do they have like feelings and stuff, or are they just basically walking war machines?
Oh no, they're designed to be like masters of war, and the thing is, like, one of their kind of adages is that they shall know no fear, because they're psychologically trained and what have you to just be the defenders of humanity. But yeah, they do have feelings and what have you, and that's part of the reason that is placed on why there was the heresy in the first place, because they were nearing the end of the Great Crusade, the rediscovery of lost human worlds and what have you, and a lot of the Space Marines were starting to think, well, what's going to happen to us when they don't need us anymore? Are they just going to like wipe us out? Because apparently that had happened somewhere around the 20th century or so. There was some more genetically modified like warriors, the Thunder Warriors, that were the precursors to the Space Marines, and they just wiped them out when they decided they didn't want them anymore. So a lot of Space Marines were kind of worried what had happened to them, and that was why they decided they were going to fight back against the Emperor and his loyalists. Yeah, a bit like that, Sharon. But yeah, if you're familiar with Game of Thrones, the Unsullied, although as far as I know, Space Marines don't share some features with the Unsullied, if you catch me drift. But we'll leave it there because it's a family-friendly show. So it's kind of good and evil in space. So the Emperor is supposed to be the even though the Empire is kind of a bit weird in terms of some of their views and what have you, but it's supposed to be the Empire of Man is good, and Chaos is supposed to be everything else. So it's
you know what I did?
What?
You know how I always record it so that we can like put it on YouTube and stuff?
You forgot to press the button.
You just said all that awesome stuff and I forgot to press record.
Yeah, gee whiz.
But everyone here can hear you, so that's...
You know I'm never going to be able to do that again.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Gee whiz.
But go on, you were telling us about Chaos.
Yeah, so they're like the... there's 4 main Chaos gods. that I guess you possibly need to be aware of. So there is Nurgle, the god of pestilence and decay and what have you. And then there is Khorne, who is the god of like murder and war and blood and stuff. So they're like the 4 kind of horsemen essentially, loosely, aren't they? So you've got plague and pestilence rolled into one. We've got Khorne, that's all about sort of fighting and battle and reaping skulls for the skull throne and all these kind of things. That's why there's a paint called Blood for the Blood God. That's all about Khorne. Blood for the Blood God and skulls for the skull throne of Khorne. So we've got that, and then we've got Slanesh, which is the god of pleasure and pain and all those kind of things, excess in many ways. So Slanesh was born from the Eldar's debauchery. Thousands and thousands of years into the past of the world. And then what's the other one? What is the other one? Tzeentch. So Tzeentch is the god of magic and the changer of ways. So these are the main 4 gods. There are other minor powers and what have you that people can like fan make their own stuff for.
Theme and Aqua would like his own Space Marines to command to clean the house. How does he become their commander? Maybe like we have to go into the magical fictional world, and Wiki D would like to know what colour that is.
This is
No one can hear you, you're just talking to yourself, tra-la-la-la-la-la. Yeah. Apparently when you reached for your paint, your sound disappeared, so, but your microphone is on, because I can see it from here. So, I've put mine on, so at least they can hear something, and I'll try and fix yours in the meantime. But it's bright turquoise, Wicked D. It's mine and Sharon's colour, and Mr MLG has stolen it.
Yeah.
But
sure have.
But your microphone is still not working, I don't think.
That's very strange. Why ever would that be? Because I didn't even knock it or nothing.
Whatever.
The singing fixed it, says Corona.
Did I sing? Did I do my talky sing that I forget about? Because my brain doesn't work.
Yeah.
Tra-la-la. I'm trying to remember how to add a microphone now. There we go.
Yeah, I was back and now you've deleted me.
I've deleted you altogether now because you know you're not good enough to be there now.
Boo.
Boo. And you're still not working. It doesn't like you. Maybe it is you, mate. Maybe you're not.
Turn it off and turn it back on again.
Yeah, they can all hear you through mine.
Can you hear me now?
Well, yeah, yes, because they can hear you through my.
I don't know anything.
No, because he's not working. Shall we tell him again?
I know nothing.
I know nothing. Yeah, for some reason it really doesn't like your microphone. You're just going to have to talk louder and use mine.
Okay. So, so we're going to paint these guys in bright turquoise, and then I'm going to use some tropical aqua as a highlight. So once I've got the base colour all over, we're going to go with, I might blend a little bit of tropical aqua into the bright turquoise for the first highlight, and then I'm going to go from there. So these guys, normally aqua turquoisey coloured armour and gunmetal coloured trims to the shoulder pads and what have you, with some bright steel embellishments. So like this Hydra symbol on the shoulder is going to be like a gunmetal, and then it will have bright steel highlights to it, make it brighter. So these guys, these are the first minis from my army that are getting some paint on. Been storing these guys for quite some time, and now we're having a little bit of a resurgence of play in the shop of 30k and what have you, a bit of interest, which is nice. So decided it was finally time after all these years to get a little bit of paint on some of my figures, rather than it just being a project that just gets hoarded.
Sharon says you can hear my mouse cause it's right next to the microphone. Clickety click click. It's added special effects, Sharon, that's what it is. Added special effects.
So I've had a lot of fun. Last night I built a few extra guys to round out my force, because up until now, like, I'd always just been kind of building and enjoying like the sticking together part of the hobby and getting my guys done with a view to getting them painted eventually. And then last night I finally had a look at force composition to see what I was doing. So I had a bit of time. I was going to build some models after last night's stream, and I sat down and I looked at the rules to see what I had already, and I realised that I can't actually field half the stuff that I've got built, because the rules mean that you can't have mixed squads of weapons. So like in 40k,
you have to top up.
Sorry, in Warhammer 40,000,
you started chuntering into your model.
In Warhammer 40,000, you can have mixed squads of stuff. So your tactical squads of Space Marines can have, say, a special weapon like a flamer or whatever, and a heavy weapon like a heavy bolter or a missile launcher, or something of those kind of things. But in this set of rules, the 30k set of rules, you have to have a 10-man unit of models, standard tactical models. So you have to have 2 units in your army that all just have bolt guns, and they can't have special weapons. The sergeant can have a special weapon, or a pistol or whatever, or a sword, but the rest of the squad have to just be kind of vanilla guys with bolt guns. So I had to take a couple of guys' arms off and rejig their weapons and stuff to make it so that I've actually got a legal force that I can play with. I understand, spoken to one of the guys that comes in the shop today, and I understand that there's various ways that you can apply special rules to your army to get around that, but I think I need to build an army that's fairly flexible for most scenarios, so we're going to go with the standard build of have to have so many guys with bolt guns, and then I guess we just have some spare models to switch out in the squads if necessary, because I've got plenty. I didn't realise until last night, and I started pointing up the stuff and looking at the rules, how actually expensive points wise Space Marines are in the 30k rule set. So I reckon I've got about 3,500 points worth built, and most games are played at about 2,000 points. So, like normal, got way too much stuff. That's possibly a bit quiet, but way too much stuff.
Right, so So I've put your camera microphone on.
Oh, okay.
So for now, until I can fix your actual microphone, is that any better?
Can you hear me all right, everybody? Is that okay?
I'll turn mine off. Right, I'll turn mine off. You talk.
Okay. So yeah, these shoulder pads are very detailed with this kind of Hydra serpent on, and I'm really going to have to try very, very hard to not get the paint all over that when I'm all over the rest of the shoulder pad when I'm painting the serpent itself. But we will do our level best to not blob all over. Although it wouldn't be one of our streams without a bit of overpainting, would it? That's normally par for the course. What's going on there? Normally. Yeah, Wicked D, redeeming painting left-handed. It's not going to work, we've disabled it on purpose.
We did re-record the Twitch channel trailer today, so when we're not online, the bit that you can see where Nathan goes, "Hi everyone, this is our Twitch channel, it's Ace," and there was lots of bloopers, let's say it that way, and in one of the bloopers, Nathan just say, "And you can make me paint left-handed." He's like, "No, because we took that off." Spoilt Sport. I honestly read that as Spoilt Sprout because we are reading Amelia Fang at the moment for Little Miss, and that is, they say that a lot about a certain character. He's a spoilt sprout.
All right.
Because he is. It's a spoilt brat, basically. But,
is that, what's his face?
Tangine, Tambourine, Tin Can, Tanning Cream, and all the other names that he gets called until he starts being nice.
Isn't he a prince?
He is a prince, yeah. He's half a vampire and half fairy.
Ah.
Obviously. Pete says, "Hydrate!"
Ah, thanks, Pete.
Yeah, they've got lots of... You'd be even louder gulping now because you've got your camera microphone on, which is above your head.
Oh, that one.
Well, I think it's that one. it's one of them. They're not that.
No, yeah, well, one's just in front of me and one's directly above my head. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't know which one's which because they're both the same brand.
Who knows? Who knows?
Random question. What are the best inks to get? So I suppose it depends what you want to do, Sparky.
Yeah. I really like the classic GW ones. I still use a lot of my older GW inks, but I know that you can't readily get those anymore, which is a real shame because they've changed everything to the new shade range. However, you can't beat Agrax Earthshade and Null Noil, really. Yeah, these ones.
I don't go touching stuff again.
And this is my blue ink that I've had for a long time, and I've got several of these. I managed to, when we were at a Gamers Day, long time ago, when Mrs MLG and I first started going out, I think, not long after. Yeah, so blue ink, that's really nice, and I've got loads of black ink. So they were selling black ink, boxes of black ink, and I think I bought 3 boxes because it was like £1 or something. So I've still got loads of original GW black ink, which I use sparingly. But yeah, Null Noil and Agrax Earthshade, I don't think you can beat those. I mix them together, Null Noil and Agrax Earthshade, for a really dark, blacky brown, which I use for a lot of shading on larger minis and bases and stuff. So in fact it's here, look. Null Noil Agrax Earthshade mix. and I just keep topping it up. So, and then otherwise, what were those? What was the purple? The Green Stuff World. The purple ink we've got. Used that one, haven't we, for different things? But I still have a lot of Citadel ones, and I wouldn't like to recommend any of the others because I haven't used them apart from that purple Green Stuff World one. Oh, and I've used the magenta. Sorry, that's a lie. I've used Quartz Magenta, which is this one of the candy inks. That was quite nice. Used that on the Maw Crusher. And I do like Steel Wash from Reaper. That's pretty good. Use that over my Vallejo Model Air Steel to get quite a nice colour on there. There you go. Look, I've gone like, oh, I haven't used any others apart from that one, and that one, and that one. Yeah, that one. But I know a lot of people like to use oil washes these days. Like to mix up their own oil washes for stuff. That's something that I haven't tried yet. Mostly because I don't want to mess about having different stuff to clean my paintbrushes out on my desk. Because it's bad enough just remembering to dip it in the water without having to have thinners or terps or anything else on the desk as well.
And you're a paintbrush licker, so that might be a bit dangerous.
That's true. Yeah, I do like to suck the end of the paintbrush from time to time. So,
from time to time, constantly. I don't think you realise quite how much you do it.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Oil wash, Wicked D says. Sounds like you're trying some fancy cooking. Us, fancy cooking, come on. Beans on toast, that'll do. Yeah. And we can even cook beans and toast on the fire now, so even more gas saved there. Yeah. Sparky says that he's got some of those hex pots, got them in a mega paint set. And Sparky also says, I've never used full inks as I was worried about them reactivating, but I see more and more recommendations for them.
Yeah, I've never had any problems with any of them like coming back to life. The only thing that I've ever experienced that with is the speed paints.
Yeah, as Tony says, inks are acrylic based and don't really reactivate. Yeah, I've never even thought about them reactivating. In fact, reactivating, I've never, again, I've only been painting a year, but I've never even heard of it until the speed paint things.
No.
Thought, well, your paint's dry, unless you're going to dip it in the water, it'll be fine. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, oh, maybe not with those though.
Yeah. Yeah, something in the formula makes them happen something else.
And Pete says, fish, 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 fish. And what's that, Pete? Pot friend, fiend friend. Yeah, whatever that is. A pot with some arms. You do have an eclectic mix, don't you? You can't see your face painting now because there's a fish in the way.
Oh yeah, it's going, what?
Don't worry, it's not in real life. You don't have to try and swat it away. And they'll just sort of sit there at the bottom staring at us now. That's a bit creepy, Pete. That's a bit creepy. Moxie's not here tonight, is he? I hope he's alright. Reactivation is a trick that tends to be used to advantage with enamels and oil paints. I see, we've never used any of those things. No. And now we've got some extra life controllers floating past.
Fair enough.
I suppose with things like oil paints and stuff, you could get like a nice watercolory, swishy look. I'm sure there's a much more professional term for that than a swishy look.
Yeah, I know a couple of our regular gamers in the shop have started using some oil paints and what have you to get a as they describe it, grim dark look to their minis, which one of the Games Workshop painters, a guy called John Blanche, who people may be aware of, started using several years ago. He used to have, or many years ago even. I think he's now their art director, John Blanche, really good artist, and he used to have a seminal style, shall we say, of painting and converting his minis. So yeah, a couple of the regulars have started kind of embodying that type of style on their figures, and they do look pretty cool, to be fair. So they tend to put a lot of the wash on that they've created, put it on really heavy, and then using like a cotton bud or something similar, wipe it off in various places so it leaves some really heavy shading on the mini, which sounds really cool but also a bit messy, so I haven't tried it. I'll have to see if I can take some pictures of some of their models next time they're in the shop, and then I'll be able to put them on Discord so people can see. That may be a good idea.
Pete wants a super hydrate.
Have you not managed to super hydrate Goblin Squire yet? With his new features. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Cards and
or he says, right, or a paint pink. We've literally just painted a pink marker for you.
Yeah, bright pink.
Giant bright pink cabbage. I mean, come on, Pete. And I've painted pink on all of my Harlequins.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's only so much pink you need on a gaming table.
Yeah, I'm afraid there won't be any pink on these Space Marines.
Bruno says, I can barely control acrylics. The unfettered chaos of oils scares me. I'm quite impressed with myself that I managed to read that out loud without getting it wrong. Sparky says, I'm technically a Streamloot's partner, but I stopped using them when I moved content from video games. You see what we done?
Mm.
I know the Streamloots things is what Hamish has been using, but I don't really know enough about stuff to know what there is. Floating emotes and making the boy wear a wig is probably my technical ability, to be fair. It would be cool if we could get like, you know, like Hamish plays Choice Chamber. If we could get a little game like that isn't as long as Marbles, that you could just like play in between a stream like real quick. But I don't know any, so you know. And I'm not, and I'm too tight to pay for Choice Chamber, so that's not happening. Tony says,
pay for Choice Chamber.
Yeah, it's not very expensive, but you know how tight I am. Tony says, in my opinion, I don't bother trying to control any paint, so just slop it around and hope for the best. Now, Tony, we know that's not true. Nathan slops it around and hopes for the best. Definitely. Stream Raiders is what's that, Sparky? You'll have to tell me what that is in Discord. Wiki D says, Mrs MLG, I'm my streaming technical resource. What? If you're trying to say that I am your technical resource, then you, for one, you know that is not true, because you are far more techie than me, and two, I feel very sorry for you. Quinoka says, there's a Tyranid player online whose horde is Pepto-Bismol pink. It looks glorious.
Awesome.
I think if you did an entire army, then that might be quite cool. But you'd have to really like the colour, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. My Tyranids are purple. In fact, I'm highly, because I never really got much further than them being purple, and what have you. But Tyranids are about to get a new codex. The rules are going to get an update, which looks pretty cool. So we might have to get the airbrush out, and all of my Tyranids might have to become psychotic illusions. Because after we did those models that we were going to put in the window, they look pretty epic and fairly easy to pull off with that colour scheme. So I think that might have to be a thing when the weather gets a little bit warmer and we can have a ventilated space.
Thanks, Sharon. Take care.
Oh, see you later. Thanks for coming.
I just looked at my record timer and I thought to myself, there's no way we've only been streaming for 26 minutes. But then I realised I hadn't actually pressed record, had I? So we've really been streaming for 45 minutes, and that makes much more sense. Ricky D says, Galactic Phone is a fun stream game, but it can be a little long if you have more than a few players. Well, there's normally only the 5 of you, so, you know. Yeah, just something little, just something short that you can like interact with it might be quite fun. And he's easy for me to control, because remember, you know, I ain't that good.
You're awesome.
That was great, babe.
I know, I did it on purpose. Sorry. Right, where's my mixie brush? Get my mixie brush. Right, we're going to move to the next phase. We're going to move to the next phase. We're going to get some of this. We'll have a hydrate for Pete. Thanks, Pete. Right then, so we're going to get some tropical aqua, and again, this is one of the 2.9 codes. So they've re-badged this one as well, I'm sure. Oh, it's got a little blockage on the end.
Roanoke says the new Parasite of Mortex looks lovely.
It does. It looks
lovely
awesome.
As a giant, terrifying bee. What is it?
It's a huge flying beastie, and it looks pretty epic. Actually, it's a big flying monstrosity. That's I believe the idea is that it lays its eggs in people.
Nice.
But it's massive by the look of it. It looks really cool. But I don't know if it'll fit with my. There's a theme going here. High Fleet Hydra was what I played my Tyranids as, and then I'm playing like Alpha Legion, which are like often referred to as the sons of the Hydra. Maybe I've just got like Hydras on the brain. Right then, so we're going to go for some edgy highlights. I've mixed a bit of whatever it is, bright turquoise and tropical aqua together, so we can do some edge highlights on these guys. Shoulder pads, knee guards, all those kind of areas. And see what they say. Too many hydra. That could be it. That could be it. I like it. That's Pete's hydrates have made me hydra mad. You see. Too many hydrate.
Oh, there's another one for you.
Yeah, there's another one. And which one was it you got the other day, Pete? Was it Toxic Purple or something?
No, it wasn't Toxic Purple.
Pinky Blue.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was then, and he just said it was Pinky Blue or whatever. He did tell us.
Yeah, some of the colour shift paints are really cool. I like Solar Anomaly and Psychotic Illusions the best. When what's the other one? Cobalt Blue is pretty cool. And you can now handily get them in a spray can as well. They've started making it so that you can you don't even have to have an airbrush to be able to use them effectively. You can just buy a can of spray and spray them on, which is pretty funky.
Says, yeah, pinky blue. I've got 2 others. I'm using them on my Volkswagens, which I'm sure it doesn't mean that. I'm using them on my VW.
Yeah.
What's a VW?
I'm not entirely sure. I presume it's a Volkswagen, isn't it? But
Oh, was that?
yeah, maybe.
That's the only VW I know, but I was assuming it was some gaming thing that I didn't understand as per.
I don't know unless he's.
Oh yeah, VW camper. Oh, you see, had plenty of those in our time.
Yeah. Cool. Is it a model kit of a camper, Pete, or a?
Oh, you'd need a lot of bottles if it was a real camper.
Yeah, a real life one.
Tiny little painting on colour shift paint.
You never know. You never know.
I was once at a Volkswagen festival, and somebody thought it would be an extremely good idea to break open glow sticks and pour them all over his Beetle.
Oh,
which
dear.
looked amazing for like 5 minutes, but I think he very, very much regretted it when he sobered up the next morning.
When it had eaten through all these paint.
Yeah. Pete says, yes, it's a Revel one.
Yeah, cool.
How are you, Red Snow? How's the day been treating you? Mr MLG is painting Space Marines, Alpha Legion, Headhunters for Warhammer 30k to be precise.
That's right.
And he's using turquoise.
Turquoise. Yeah, tropical, aqua, and bright turquoise is what we're doing here. And just trying to get some little edgy highlights on the on these legs at the moment, because you've got to start somewhere. Yeah.
Red Snail says, nice bit of overtime. Are you still at work, or have you done your overtime and now you're at home? We don't really have overtime anymore, do we? We just have work all the time.
Yeah. I brought my overtime home with me, haven't I?
You have brought your overtime home. You were doing some more MLG credits. Finished and come home to, or gone wherever, and is now watching us waffle on and paint. I knocked one of my sticky off bits off my spider, and I had to just glue it back together.
Oh,
What's this thing called?
Arakoth the Ancient.
Yeah, that thing. Just whacked one of his sticky out bits off like a daft head.
Mrs MLG wanted to paint a large mini for the RCL, so Little Miss and I had a look through the box of minis and gave us some suggestions, and then that was the one that Little Miss had picked, wasn't it?
Yes, this is what she said I had to do. I didn't have any choice. This was the one I had to do. And then she wanted to put it together and got very frustrated because she couldn't.
Yeah, that's because it was a bit silly.
Well, it's lots of legs, isn't it? And
Yeah.
she was trying to put it together without glue. She was just trying to hold it together, and that's never going to happen in a million years. Oh, Red Snail's got cider. We have water.
Yep.
Yeah, look at us. Water.
Yeah.
I don't like cider.
I'm being very good. It's alright. Cider sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's one of those, teenage, had too much, can't drink it now.
Oh yeah,
One of those things.
Yeah, certain ciders definitely fall into that category.
Yeah, well, I used to mix mine with Jack Daniels. So.
What?
Adam's Ale, apparently. Oh, the cider. Oh God, I'm so dense. I read that out, and then the other half of my brain went, "Oh, come on." I do apologise, Red Snail. I do apologise. That looks very bright and.
Does it look alright?
Yeah, but like when I look over at you,
Yeah.
it doesn't really look the colour it does on screen. Are you putting highlights in and stuff? If you can't see them, you might have to bring it up to camera.
Yeah, I will.
And show us all, but not quite yet because I'm just going to put some wood on the fire.
Okay.
So you'll have to talk to everybody.
So my highlights are not the neatest. I'm not going to claim to be a master or anything on the old highlighting. I've never been super at doing Space Marine power armor. normally dry brush them, to be fair, but we're going to give it a whirl this time around. I'm going to give it a whirl, and I think I said the other day that when I'm stood at least 2 feet away from these guys on the table, I think they're going to look alright. So, and when you're looking at them in a cabinet, they're not supposed to be like masterpiece quality or anything. They're to use in games, aren't they? So that's what they're going to be. Red Snail's just been given a load of very old Space Marines. What, like RTB01 plastic Space Marines, that kind of era. The good old classic beaky Marines. I've got a few of those.
Yeah, beakies.
When we went to Warhammer World recently, and I was pointing some things out in the cabinet, I had some of them. I've still got some of them. Got that. It's I do like going. It's super cool, and they've added some new stuff into the exhibition since we last went, which was particularly cool.
Pete would like to know what this week's Friday Night Magic is at the shop.
This week's Friday Night Magic is a draft. It's a draft. We're going to do an older Magic set. Khans of Tarkir. Managed to get hold of some booster packs of Khans of Tarkir, and we will be doing a draft of Khans of Tarkir. So a few of our regulars requested it, and we managed to get hold of some, and that's what we're going to be doing. So it should be pretty cool. Looking forward to that.
How much is it?
It will be £20, and there will be prizes. There will be good prizes. Ooh, not so sure about that line I've just done across there.
Let me know when you want to show it off.
Okay.
We've got 2 minutes.
Okie dokie.
Because then we're going to raid.
We're going to raid Wicked D.
Well, I might do if she's going. Can we ban Dan? Oh, come on. We've already sacked him. Of course, we didn't sack him. He left before he had a chance. Does he always win, Pete? Or do you just not like his cards? Wicked D, are you streaming, my dear, at 9 o'clock? Oh yeah, I best go get set up. So we are going to raid Wicked D. It would be awesome for you to come over with us. Oh, you're doing that now.
Oh, sorry.
Hang on, let me try be all focusing on where are you going with him? That's like at the bottom of the screen. There you go. Right, so he's focused. You can move him about now.
Okay. So here we go. This is what he looks like so far. This is mini number 1. So this guy is the guy that had the Achillean green over the silver, and then I've repainted it, which is why some bits have been metallic. But just so you can get an idea of what he looks like so far. There we go. Slow rotation. I'm quite happy with how he's turning out so far. And then I've got a brighter kind of turquoise highlight colour, which is a Model Air RLM colour, one of the Vallejo Model Air colours. So I'll use that as the very fine edge highlight on his armour. But I've got to do the other 4 guys, yeah. So that's what he's looking like so far. Quite happy with how he's turning out already. And then just some other basic details in there. And then they'll be cool, and I've put them on these Sector Mechanicus bases so that I can just paint the bases dead easy, and I don't have to worry about flocking and all that kind of stuff. So cool. That's cool. Hope you like them.
So what else have you got to do then on him? What's your next stage?
So the next stage after I'm going to do the armour, so the next highlight on the armour, and then I've got to go back in and paint all the metalwork. So all these studs on his legs here, need to paint all those very carefully black so I can make them metal, and some of these other areas, and then we need to make quite a few bits of him like a gunmetal colour, and paint a couple of other details. So he's got a knife there on his chest. Probably should have painted some of these bits before I'd stuck all the guns on and what have you, but it's so much easier to play games with them when they're actually like stuck together. So yeah, a few bits to go back and paint in the details black, which is why these guys, they got spray undercoated black, so some of those bits aren't going to be so hard to go back and amend. Unlike this guy, I've got to go back and paint over all those metallic areas to make them look right. Thank you very much, everybody. That's very kind of you. I'm going to move on to miniature number 2. So, our next stream should be Sunday, and I'm not sure what form that is going to take at this point. Might be a painting stream, might be a gaming stream. And
is that if we can convince Little Miss to let you paint, it will be a painting stream?
Possibly. That's way too bright. I'm going to have to make a change on this guy, I think. Let's just see. This guy needs a second coat of turquoise, I think.
So you made a mistake. So the best way to get a mistake, is it true that if you make a mistake straight away, you put some water on?
Yes, put a little bit of water on and you should be able to brush it off. Yeah. Right, I need to get some more bright turquoise and just touch a couple of areas up on some of these guys, because I can see that where I've painted over the black, it hasn't gone fully opaque, so it looks a bit weird. So I'm going to sort that out. So Sunday, yeah, painting or gaming on Sunday is the plan, and then we'll be painting Monday night. So on Monday night I'm going to be starting this guy, the giant from TT Combat.
He is really good.
It's a really nice mini.
It's a really nice. What did you undercoat that with?
I undercoated this and the Space Marines and a whole bunch of other stuff all at the same time with Colourforge Matte Black, which is a really fantastic, great value spray primer. From the Colourforge. It's really good quality stuff, and their matte varnish is great as well. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so that's Monday, and then there's no stream next Tuesday and Wednesday because Mrs MLG and I are otherwise occupied.
It won't let me. It says that Wikid is an invalid user. That's not very friendly, is it? Can we not raid her? Maybe we can't raid her. That's not very nice, is it? Why won't it let me?
I don't know.
Yes, no stream. Sorry, did you say why?
I said that we were otherwise occupied.
Oh, you're not telling anybody why?
Yeah, we're
we're just going to sit here on our own.
No, we're going to London, near London. We're going to Guildford.
See the Queen.
We're going to go and play some board games for a couple of days with one of our distributors. A gaming retreat it is, I think. So that should be pretty cool. So no stream on Tuesday and Wednesday next week, but we are here on Monday.
It won't let me raid it. Yes, I've never been to London.
Have you not? I thought you would have been when you were younger. You not go with school?
You know I've never been. No, why would we go with school? It's miles away.
We did. I only came from like several miles down the road.
Fancy school.
Hardly.
We went to Beamish.
It was the only school for like However many miles. Hardly a fancy school.
And anyway, we're going to say goodnight, everybody.
Oh,
Unfortunately, we can't
okay.
raid Wiki D.
We
It won't
can't.
let me. It keeps telling me that she's invalid,
Oh.
which is a bit mean, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. No. But we're going to go and watch it.
Yes. So it would be awesome if you could come with us and watch Wiki D play Pokemon. She does need some more subscribers to be able to get to the level where she can have emotes and hydrates and all that malarkey, which would be really cool. And obviously, like, you know, no, not subscription, followers. So, and that's free, so that'd be cool. Tony says, been to London a few times, I've avoided like the plague, horrible place. Yes, I think it's probably why I've never been. There's too many people turning. I mean, Scarborough's got too many people for me, so London's going to be a nightmare. But we're not actually going into London, so it's fine. Right, so we are going to go now. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been awesome. And if you could come over to Wicked D's stream, that would be fantastic. I know that she would greatly appreciate it.